There are moments in life when we feel stretched between two extremes, the relentless chase for success on one side, and the quiet urge to give up on the other. We run after things that shine outside, only to retreat into silence when disillusioned. But no matter how far we run, peace still eludes us. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, what is the path that truly leads to inner freedom? In the Buddha's teachings, there is a path untouched by extremes, neither indulgence nor suppression. It is called the middle way. Not rigid, not loose. Not rejecting life, yet not clinging to it. The middle way is about living fully without being dragged by desires. It's about letting go without escaping, acting without attachment. It's not just a doctrine, it is a way of being. A path of returning to the clarity of the present moment. And on this journey home, you are not alone. Welcome to the Dharma journey, a space where the essence of Buddhist wisdom is shared with presence, simplicity, and depth. Here, we don't just repeat teachings, we live with them. Through stories, silence, and self-inquiry, we walk together toward clarity and stillness. No embellishment. No hollow words. Just gentle reminders that can stir the roots of suffering and awaken the heart. If you're searching for a space to breathe amidst the noise, if you still believe that awakening isn't found in distant lands but in your very breath, then the Dharma journey is the path you've been silently heading toward all along. In today's world, both practitioners and ordinary people often fall into a subtle yet dangerous trap, living in extremes without realizing it. Some indulge their senses, calling it self-love or freedom. But in truth, they are drifting aimlessly in the current of desire. They mistake momentary pleasure for happiness and fleeting feelings for truth. On the other hand, some force themselves into harsh asceticism, suppressing the body, enduring pain, fasting, meditating until the body breaks down, thinking this is true cultivation. But in reality, they are feeding a hidden ego, the pride of being spiritual. Neither of these paths is the way. The middle way is not about balancing the two extremes. Nor is it a lukewarm life that pleases everyone. It is not about standing halfway between indulgence and repression. The middle way is the profound insight that both sides are illusions, and the courage to drop both. What remains after both extremes are released, that is the way. The middle way is a clarity that sees pleasure as fleeting and pain as unreal. Joy and suffering are two sides of the same coin, and the awakened one simply lets go of the coin altogether. To live the middle way is not to hide in a cave or wear the robe of a monk. It is to live in the world but not be of the world. To act without attachment. To let go without escaping. The heart becomes still, like a calm lake undisturbed by winds. The mind becomes clear, like the full moon free of clouds. To understand the middle way is not to memorize a teaching or quote a sutra. The way reveals itself only when one has dropped the thirst for both pleasure and pain. Only then does true Dharma shine forth, not as words, but as direct experience in the here and now. Extremes are the root of samsara. We suffer because of what we desire, and we also suffer because of what we reject. The worldly chase after what they like and are swept away by it. The so-called spiritual ones run away from life out of dislike, but if one hasn't clearly seen the true nature of mind, then the more one practices, the deeper one sinks into delusion. Some people love wealth and status, and are led by them like puppets. Others abandon everything, wandering from place to place thinking they are free, yet they are bound by the very act of letting go. That's not liberation, that's aversion dressed as renunciation. So what is the middle way? It is neither clinging nor rejecting, it is simply seeing things as they are. To see beauty without letting it stir your heart. To hear criticism without rising in anger. To gain without pride. And to lose without sorrow. That is the one who truly lives the Dharma. The middle way is not cold detachment, it is clear awareness. It is not the absence of emotion, but freedom from being ruled by emotion. It is the wisdom that sees all phenomena as impermanent, and therefore not worth grasping. When you see this deeply, the hand lets go on its own, not because it's told to, but because it sees there's nothing to hold. To live the middle way is to walk through the world without being dragged by it. Neither chasing nor avoiding. Neither hiding nor flaunting. It is a kind of freedom that no one can give you, and no one can take away, because it arises from within, through insight. This is the true path of awakening. The middle way is not found in books, it is found in each arising thought. It is not enough to study scriptures or give eloquent talks about the middle path. Some believe they understand because they've read about it, but if you cannot see the mind as it moves in each fleeting moment, then what you understand is just intellectual knowledge, not prajna wisdom. The one who truly lives the middle way is not the one who speaks well, but the one who sees a spark of anger arise, and immediately lets it go. Sees a flicker of greed arise, and does not follow. Does not suppress thoughts, nor indulge them, but simply abides in the clear seeing of what is. This is the essence of Dharma. To live without depending on forms or appearances. No need for monastic robes. No need for loud chanting or dramatic displays of devotion. Just a mind that knows clearly. What am I thinking now? What am I saying now? What am I doing now? And a heart that is not pulled away by habit and delusion. The middle way is not a theory. It reveals itself the moment you turn inward and see your own mind. In a flare of anger. In a subtle urge to win, in a lingering desire to hold on. Liberation is not somewhere far ahead. It is present right here, right now, in every breath of mindful awareness. In every moment you choose not to be carried away. The one who walks the middle way no longer asks, which practice is correct? Because each breath is the practice. Each step, each glance, each silence, is the way. How can one truly live the middle way? You don't need to search for it in the forest. You don't have to climb a mountain or leave the world behind. The middle way is right here, in every glance, every word, every step, every breath you take. When eating, don't indulge in flavors, but also don't punish the body. Don't eat to satisfy cravings. And don't resist hunger as if it were an enemy. Just be fully aware, I am eating. Each bite, each swallow, practiced in mindfulness, becomes the path itself. When speaking, don't let words carry hidden motives, and don't speak out of habit. Speak only when the heart is clear. Say only what needs to be said, and speak with compassion. No embellishment. No manipulation, like white clouds drifting across a blue sky. When thinking, don't chase after pleasure, and don't drown in sorrow. Simply notice the mind in motion. And quietly return to the still awareness within. The middle way is not about forcing a balanced life. It is the natural silence of a heart unmoved by praise or blame, gain or loss. When others praise you, you do not swell with pride. When they criticize, you do not sink into sadness. Success doesn't inflate the ego. Failure doesn't shake your ground. To live the middle way is to live in freedom. Not controlled by external events, nor enslaved by internal reactions. That freedom doesn't come from ideals. It arises in the simplicity of daily awareness, eating, speaking, thinking, breathing. This is practice in daily life, awakening without turning away from the world. This is the middle way, the return to your original mind. Free of extremes, free of grasping, free of rejection. Awakening lies in the middle way. The Buddha did not attain enlightenment through self-mortification, nor through indulgence in pleasure. He awakened when he let go of both extremes, austerity and indulgence, and sat beneath the Bodhi tree with a mind unshaken and still. In the very moment the mind no longer chases any extreme. Wisdom arises. Not because of long years of practice, not because of accumulating knowledge, but because of letting go completely. Many seekers today get lost. Thinking enlightenment is hidden within layers of theory, elaborate techniques, or complex rituals. But the path has no side roads, there is only one gate, seeing your own mind clearly. To see without interfering. To know without grasping. To release without resistance. One moment of true awareness can cut through lifetimes of confusion. The middle way is not a philosophy. It is the natural state of a mind no longer split between like and dislike, gain and loss, craving and fear. When the mind no longer leans toward any side, Buddha nature reveals itself without effort. There is no need to search for awakening somewhere else. Just turn inward, and see the thought as it arises. That is where the path begins. And that is where it is fulfilled. Those who wish to walk the middle way should not chase after mystical doctrines or distant realms. What must be seen is your own mind, right here, right now. Not in theory. Not in philosophy. But in that very thought arising in your head. In the subtle urge behind your eyes. In the silent movement behind each action. The middle way is not about balancing between two extremes. It is about seeing the nature of both sides clearly, and no longer being pulled by either. Not led by craving, not clouded by aversion. Not trying to be good, and not surrendering to impulse. Just seeing, just knowing, and resting in that clear awareness. To live the middle way, you must first have the courage to face your mind directly. Look honestly, all the way in. No excuses. No justifications. Not, I am like this because of my past. But simply seeing how all suffering begins with a single mistaken thought. A flicker of desire, a flash of anger, a trace of ignorance, left unnoticed. Do not decorate the mind to make it look pure. Do not hide the mind to avoid discomfort. Do not suppress the mind to keep it still. Just see it, every thought that rises. Every feeling that passes. Like one standing calmly on the riverbank, watching the current flow by. The middle way is total presence with reality, without fear, without desire, without escape. When you can witness a surge of anger without reacting. A spark of greed without following. A word of praise without pride. A word of blame without pain. You are already walking the path of liberation. Do not ask, when will I be enlightened? If even for a moment you see your mind without judgment or attachment, that moment is enlightenment. Awakening is not a lofty state achieved after 10 years of meditation. It is the clarity and simplicity of this very moment. When the mind is no longer ruled by delusion. Sentient beings drift in samsara because they follow false thoughts. Buddhas awaken because they see them, and let them go. The way is not far from people. The moment one turns around, it is seen. You do not need to go anywhere. Just turn inward, and look. You do not need to gain anything. Just let go of what is not true. When the mind does not move, the world does not arise. That is the middle way. When the mind is unmoved, the world cannot pull you. When the mind no longer chases praise or blame, gain or loss. You can live right in the middle of the world, yet remain untouched by it. If today's Dharma talk has stirred even a single moment of clarity in your heart, a pause in your racing thoughts, a breath taken in full awareness, a thought seen clearly and then let go, then please, don't let that moment pass unnoticed. Listen again, not with the ears, but with the heart. Not to understand more, but to think less. Not to memorize, but to return inward. The way is not about how many teachings you hear. It is about one true moment of awakening. Perhaps that moment is now. Or maybe one day. In the middle of your suffering, you'll remember a single phrase from today. When the mind does not move, the world does not arise. And you'll release. And you'll feel lighter. And you'll stop being dragged by what once controlled you. Even one such moment is a real step on the path of liberation. This channel, the Dharma journey, was not created to preach beautifully, nor to attract great numbers, but simply to be a quiet resting place for those who feel lost. A place of stillness amid the noise. A soft bell reminding you to return to the one place you've never truly left. Your own quiet, awakened mind. If you feel that this space helps you walk mindfully, helps you release, helps you remember what matters, please subscribe. Not for algorithms, not for numbers, but so that each time we meet again, you're gently reminded to return to your own heart. Return where? To the place you've never left, the pure, unborn, undying mind within. And if one day, all talks vanish, all teachings fade, but you still remember to be fully present, to see clearly without clinging, then the path of liberation remains unshaken. May all beings encounter the true Dharma. May they return to the middle way, where the mind no longer clings to either shore of delusion. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.